It looks like a dilemma, but it's not really a dilemma. It's a no-brainer. You want to carry the lowest. Welcome back to my channel. This is The Right Property, where I bring you information before deals. We all know we need that information before we go out there doing deals, especially when it comes to real estate deals. My name is Toyemi Adegorite. Thank you for joining me today. Some of you may not even know this is what is keeping you on the sideline. We have a buyer's dilemma out there. I'm looking at the numbers, the stats, and more houses are coming up. The inventory is so high right now, you'll be lucky to sell. So sellers are competing for buyers. But I'm looking at the buyers and I'm going like, what's the problem? Buyers have a dilemma, okay? They need to solve a complex situation in their minds. A dilemma is when you have two solutions that are equally bad, okay? There's really no good solution. And what's the dilemma? It's about either carrying a high mortgage with low interest rate, which it seems like that's what everybody's waiting for right now, or they carry a low mortgage with high interest rate, which it seems like that's what everybody's afraid of right now. Maybe after this video, you get a better sense of what you want to do. And if not, you can give me a call. I work in the GTA. I can sit down with you one-on-one, and even through a call. You can call me, my number is down here, and maybe we can figure out where you stand and what you should be considering. Okay? So let me lay it out. For the past 100 years in Canada, I'm based in Canada, right? Toronto GTA. For the past 100 years, interest rates have been ridiculous. Like there was a time it was 11% interest rate. Not until 2000 to 2010 that it dropped to around 3.5. It's always been higher before then. And from 2020 till 2025, which is just 5 years, the average interest rate has actually risen past 2010 to 2020. So 2010 to 20 was about 3.5%. 2020 to 2025, even though during COVID, interest rate was very low. And a lot of people got in carrying a very high mortgage, but because the interest rate was low, they felt they could handle it. People forgot, or maybe they didn't know, that in Canada, UK, New Zealand, Australia, there's something called renewal. I mean, if you bought in the US during the COVID period, bubble market, multiple offers everywhere, if you bought then, you're probably still good. But if you bought in these countries that I just mentioned, Canada included, there's something called renewal. That renewal is what most of them are now facing. And the interest rate average from 2020 to 2025 has actually risen past the average of 2010 to 2020. 3.5, and now we're at an average of 4.5. So everybody getting in then, carrying, multi-million-dollar mortgages, they are all in trouble now because the interest rate that got them in is now being renewed. And now they're facing higher interest. And most of them are trying to sell. And that's why you have listings coming up every day. And there are no buyers. But for buyers out there, if you're considering to just sit on the side, till interest rate drops, listen to this. You don't have to do that. Because if you do that, you're going to end up in the same situation those that bought from 2020 to about 2023. You're going to end up in the same situation. houses are going to rise and you're going to jump in because interest rates are going to be low, and then your renewal is going to come around and your interest rate is going to go up. You'll be back in the spot that you were trying to avoid. So if you're in the countries I mentioned, Canada, Australia, UK, and New Zealand, if you're in these countries, don't look at the interest rate before you make your decisions. Look at the mortgage you're going to be carrying. Because when you carry a low mortgage, there are advantages to that than when you carry a high mortgage. So your closing cost is going to be lower. Your land transfer tax is going to be lower for sure. Those two things. Okay, so your property tax could also be lower and your insurance could probably be lower as well. But guaranteed, your closing cost and your land transfer will be lower. Those two things sometimes prevent people from closing. They're running around trying to get closing cost. You won't have to do that because right now you can get a deal. You have about 4 houses on the street listed for sale. The person that ends up selling usually is the person that is ready to go lower than the rest. So that's a deal waiting for you to be had. Let's flip it to a hot market, a seller's market, where there are more buyers than sellers. Those 4 houses, no, you're not going to have 4. You're probably going to have 1 house on a street. And that seller is going to be just sitting back waiting for buyers to just beat themselves to death. And they usually go with the person offering the highest, price. What are you going to do? You're going to end up buying the same house you can buy now for, say, $800,000. You're going to end up buying it for 1.2 or 1.5. That is ridiculous. Do not wait for that market. Buyers out there, this is a no-brainer. You want to carry the lowest mortgage possible. All right? If you get anything out of this video, go with the lowest mortgage possible because your interest is not guaranteed. There is renewals. Okay? Only the US don't do renewals. Sit with your agent and ask them what renewal is all about. When the bank calls you in 5 years or 3 years, depending on your term, you have no choice. You can't just tell them, no, I like what I have. No, they're not Rogers, they're not Bell. You get to renew or they're going to drop you. So when you're out there looking for, the best way out of this situation, it looks like a dilemma, but it's not really a dilemma. It's a no-brainer. You want to carry the lowest mortgage possible because when you carry high mortgages, you end up with higher closing costs, you end up with high insurance, you end up with high land transfer tax, you end up with so many high stuff. Because at that point, everybody thinks there's money everywhere. And you are their money machine. You print out the money because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one holding the bag. But on this channel, I keep saying all I want to do is see you at the top. And this is how you get to the top. Solve the problem. It's not really a dilemma. It's a no-brainer. If you have anything else to add to this video, please drop a comment. If what I'm saying makes sense to you and you want to have a discussion, a one-on-one, or you want to give me a call, my number is down below. If you like what I'm doing on this channel and you haven't yet subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please hit the subscribe button because on this channel, all I want to do is see you at the top.